Good day, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Opinions with Olayemi. My name is Olayemi Akande. Thank you for viewing my past episodes, and for those joining us newly, I say thank you. Please try and view the previous episodes, okay? The topic we're going to be discussing today is job loss. How can employees guide against the risk of job loss? Joining me today is Mr. Kehinde Olaniyi, Head Brand Management and Corporate Communications, Anchor Insurance Limited. Welcome, Mr. Kenny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Job loss. That's a popular phrase. So I'm sure every employee is aware of that. At one point in time, you're afraid of losing your job, probably because the company itself is downsizing, or for one reason or the other. And you look at all the expenses you have to do. You have to, spend money on. Then you look at your job and every day you're like, good, I hope they don't retrench today, good, I hope this doesn't happen to me, So in your own opinion, how do you think employee can actually guide against this risk?
Thank you, Yemi. First of all, your job is what put food on your table, sure. Right? So it's what build the income you earn from your job is what build your financial life and your dream as well. But then there's this fear that people usually have about losing their job. And I want to take you from this angle. You want to look at the characteristics of those that have this fear. Remember the popular saying that fear is false evidence appearing real. Sure. So it's not supposed to be there in the first place. So you want to look at those things that is attributed to any employee who fears job loss. And you want to take it from the angle of these are the kind of people that kiss the butts, they want to just go in line with what the management says, whether it's right or wrong. They are the kind of people that they can't really hear their own opinion. They have this inferiority complex. And they are the kind of people that they have this fear of expressing themselves. So these are among many others that you can mention. They are the kind of people that they have of course, like I said, inferiority complex, and they are not able to criticize the management. They can't talk of what they feel the management should do at any point in time. So that's the kind of people that have fear of job loss. And how do you overcome, which is your question anyway, how do you overcome the fear of job loss? Like I said, this is what puts food on your table. So you want to guide it, you want to protect it. And the first thing any reasonable staff or an employee of an organization will want to do to avoid fear of job loss is you make sure that you are punctual at your work. Be there at the right time, be there on time, so that you can settle down and do the right thing. And secondly, you want to do what I regard as smart work. A lot of employees do hard work rather than smart work. You have to be committed to details. When you do this, your job will be well secured. Your employer will be happy with you because he can see a very dedicated staff in you. And then doing all of this, you won't want a situation where, like I said, you want a situation where you're just doing hard work rather than doing the smart work. You don't want a situation where you are doing what is regarded as movement without motion. So an employee who wants to allay the fear of job loss should also be able to develop him or herself personally. A lot of people stay on the job for 5-10 years and they still earn the same certificate they brought to that job. It's still what they are proud of. So an employer wants to see a staff who has developed himself personally, educationally, career-wise, so that at any point in time when there's an opportunity for the job to expand, you'll be fit into that particular job. So you must increase the level of your KPI, which I call key performance indices, by developing yourself. You must be able to add value to the organization. You must be able to talk confidently. You must be able to increase your level of knowledge. So all this will be able to afford you the opportunity to stay on the job. You also want to be able to participate in all the company activities because you don't want to be a redundant staff, a staff that is always up and doing. When a task is called for, you are there. So this will enable you to allay the fears of when the list come running down. You won't find your name in that list because the organization have been able to see that, oh, this is a valuable staff. This is staff that, oh, we can go to sleep and be rest assured that things are done perfectly.
Yeah, if I have to buttress what you just said, whilst I was still working, and I had a boss then, he used to tell me, Olaimi, see, this company can see. The organization has eyes.
Exactly.
So you come into the organization as probably an accountant, first degree. You should know that you have to, register for ICANN because the field where you're in, they have a professional exam. And even when you're a chartered accountant, you know, periodically you have to keep on upgrading yourself, all these short courses they usually have. So you can keep abreast with the policies and happenings around your profession. But you see some people, they're like, say, I can't read, I'm tired, I read enough. First degree should be enough. You should not stress me. And they're okay with just staying in one level for 5 years, just like you said. Then, another point I have is, employees should also try to be not just responsible on their decks.
Yeah.
They should have idea regarding everything the organization is doing.
Yeah.
You are in finance. You should know what somebody at the back office is doing, what the marketers are doing. Nobody is saying you should take up their jobs, right? But you should have an idea so that if you see any opportunity outside, you can easily identify it on behalf of the company. Yeah. Bring it up, maybe at meetings, and definitely management will be very happy to see you always looking out for opportunities, even in areas that aren't your, core responsibility. Yes. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what you call versatility. Exactly. A staff must be able to be an all-round employee. Know a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, and that's all I said about being relevant in the organization.
Yeah, there's a point I have. I know a lot of people might feel. It's great, kind of. Some people will say that while you're working for someone, you should try and do something by the side. Now, doing something by the side should not. You shouldn't be competing.
Yeah, sure.
With your current,
with your job.
With your job, with your current employer. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Because some people say no, it will divide your attention. But if you have a business by the side and it's making money for you, I'm sure the fear that they're going to sack you will reduce. Kind of selfish though, because you say, well, if they sack me, I have something else I'm doing, right? But you're still going to reduce the fear that you have regarding losing your job.
Sure. I want to see that as a way of preparing yourself for retirement. You don't wait until you retire before you start trying to think of what to do. You want to just gradually on the side. Like you said, every organization has their bylaws, they have their guidelines, they have oath of secrecy. You are not expected to do the same kind of business that your company is doing. It's not, even as much as you are not doing that, there is no conflict of interest. So you are allowed on the side, just have 1 or 2 stores out there. You remember that in schools then we used to have this guidance and counseling department. They counsel us while you are going for this career, try to do some other handcraft and all that. Maybe peradventure you've been able to learn fashion designing, photography and the rest. Weekends, what stops you from doing some of those things as an ambition? Eventually it grows to become a business, and when you eventually retire or you lose your job, you can go back and try to develop it more, have more time for it, but you must make sure it does not clash with your company's interest.
That's the gray area. I'm sure companies probably will not write it black and white.
Sure.
Thou shalt not sell, But you discover that, now I'm talking from experience.
Okay.
You discover that sometimes probably you're working in a corporate organization where what you're doing is probably finance finance. And you're probably selling shoes. There's really no direct relation between you selling shoes and
your accounting job, yeah.
But you discover that I'm sure a lot of employers won't still be happy, and the excuse they give is you are dividing your attention, even though you are actually not doing what is competitive to what you do, but your attention is divided, and they feel like once you feel you've already set up in one area, why do you have to hustle to work for somebody else? They just feel your loyalty, your enthusiasm to work will naturally come down.
Yeah.
So how do you think employees should know this too?
Yeah, you see, that's why you remember I mentioned working smart. You know, you need to be smart when, I mean, not trying to outright or outsmart your company, or, you know, but you need to be able to have this focus that, oh, I'm here to do my job. You see, you need some experience one way or the other, even when you eventually want to start your business, and that you can get on the job that you are doing. So you need to be able to identify when it's time for you to do what you are being paid for, what put food on your table, and when you want to do that of your ambition, you know, like an hobby kind of a thing. So you're not going to be an employee who devotes more time. And that's eventually, if, like you said, organization have an eye. So there are people who are seeing you and report to the management that, oh, this guy, and it will show in your productivity anyway. But if your productivity is high, the company is getting what they want from you, nobody will look at you doing other things that's distracting your job, you know. But you are still there producing, and you know your productivity is high. But more importantly is the fact that the most important thing to be able to allay this fear of job loss is you to take an insurance policy. I'm sorry, you think I'm talking from insurance angle, but then it gives you this security and rest of mind.
Now that you've come to that, you work in an insurance company.
You're quite right, sure.
Anchor Insurance.
Yes.
So, talking about Anchor Insurance, do you people, as a company right now, do you have a product that employee can buy into?
Yeah.
To reduce this fear of job loss.
Yeah. It's alien to our economy, is alien to our environment. We have in some of the insurance products that we have, orthodox insurance policy. We have what we call unemployment insurance. Some people call it job loss insurance. Some people call it income loss insurance. We as a company, a general liability insurance company, we have this product called loss of unemployment insurance scheme. We call it a scheme because insurance is a pool of fund. You bring a lot of people together, and out of their contribution, you remunerate or you compensate a few that suffer loss. So as a company, a responsible company who is forward thinking, who is futuristic, we want to add our own quota to the economy. So we have brought up products to help Nigerian employee, and I just called the name. We call it Anchor Insurance Louise. The Louise, exactly. The Louise is an acronym meaning Loss of Employment Insurance Scheme. So this is what we have brought on the table for Nigerian employees, and you can partake in it to secure your job. When you have that, it doesn't mean that you go to sleep and not do your job normally. Because there are terms and conditions, that guides the product. But more importantly is to secure your income after you have lose your job. And we are saying that we're going to give you a benefit of up to 24 months while you are still actively looking for job elsewhere. So that's what we have.
The products, right?
Yes.
Can you explain? Can you go a little bit deeper into it?
Okay.
Only gets that. Pay you right.
Okay.
We can understand.
Yes.
So if I lose my job, you guys will pay me for 24 months.
Very correct.
So how do I get into participating in the products? What do I need to do? Then insurance, you guys could be scammers sometimes. Yeah. Then I lose my job, then you come and you tell me this. So can you tell us just a bit more about the product and what might prevent the insurance company from not exercising that part?
Okay.
Somebody eventually loses his job.
Yeah, you want me to go into the terms and conditions now?
Briefly.
Yeah, briefly, because on this forum, time might not permit to go into full details. But then, insurance are not scammers anyway. Let me change that impression. Okay. We're trying to build the industry on an integrity platform. And we have a body called National Insurance Commission who is making sure that they supervise our activities. And we roll in reports every month. But that's not what we're talking about. We need to let the public know that insurance is the only security that can protect you against all forms of risk. And job loss is a risk. If you lose your job, you're not going to meet your responsibility. Expenses will continue, but job has stopped. Now, what Anchor Insurance is saying is that if you come on board this policy, it must happen through to no fault of yours. You know, it's not like you're going to resign voluntarily or you've committed fraud. The policy will not cover you. We're saying a situation where the company is downsizing, a situation where the company folds up, a situation where the company no longer like your face. There's this popular saying that love your job and not your company, because you don't know when your company will stop loving you. So you take up an insurance policy like this, and we guarantee you that in 2 years, while you are still looking for a job, it's expected that you should look for a job. We're going to be paying you a predetermined income based on your gross monthly income that you are earning before the lost job. Remember, insurance is to bring you to a position where you are before the loss. You're not supposed to make profit from insurance. So we come as an insurance company, a security company, to say, you take this policy with us, you pay the required premium, which is, very minute.
What's the minute?
I might not be able to say precisely here, but when you take up this policy, they will guide you through. We'll tell you what you need to do, how you need to get the policy, how you need to assess your claim, how you need to benefit from the policy. And now, when I say minute, it's just a token. Remember, I say it's a pool of funds. A lot of people will bring them together, and a few of them suffer loss. Will pay from, the pool, and we'll do investment and all that. So the policy essentially, let's not differ from that, is to ensure that you do not fear losing your job when you are told to go. You just call on us and tell us that, okay, I've lost my job, and we'll put machinery in motion to ensure that you get your accurate compensation. And we are saying that pay your premium adequately. Once you pay your premium adequately, if there's a job loss, we'll swing into action. And we determine how we're going to pay you your premium in the period of that 2 years. When you get your job before the end of the 2 years, of course, the policy stops paying you. And then, but the important aspect here is to say that Nigerian employees will no longer fear job loss any longer, because we have come to provide an avenue for them to earn the income they were earning before the job loss. They will be able to pay their children's school fees, pay their bills, and every other responsibility that they need to. And you will not be, you're not going to be a pain on somebody's neck. You remember your friends will start running from you the moment you lose your job.
Naturally.
Yes, they won't borrow you money again because they don't know where you're going to pay. But we are saying these are the things. We want to make people to have confidence. We want to make people to allay the fear of frustration. Job loss can bring frustration. So these are the things the benefits that this policy is going to offer you as an employee who loses his or her job through to no fault of his or hers.
Beautiful. But I'm still going to ask this question. Can you just give me a range of what token means? You've been very specific about the number of months you're going to pay me when I lose my job.
Yes.
Can you just give me a range?
Okay.
2%, 10%, 5%?
Yes. I will still not want to give you a range in the sense that, for instance, on this policy, we have 4 industries that we have rated.
Okay.
We have done research on them, and we've seen that, look, these industries are prone to job loss every now and then, so we want to help them. We want to grow the economy and avoid unemployment every now and then. So we have rated banks, we have rated oil and gas, we have rated telecoms, and we have rated manufacturing sector. Of course, other sectors are currently being rated. We'll bring them on board as the time goes on. So, but these 4 industries have different risk exposures. So you cannot. I know what you're trying to say. Like, okay, it's just 5% of my income that I need to pay. But then you're also going to look at the risk that the banker is exposed to is different from the risk an oil and gas person is exposed to. Even in the oil and gas industry, you have the down sector, you have the upstream sector. So each of these sector of people, employee, are exposed to different category of risk. So you want to measure them. So we have the actuarist who does this on the background, and this policy is being run on an online platform. So all you need to go is run on the online and provide certain requirements. These requirements will enable us to accurately fix your premium. We won't cheat you and you won't cheat us. That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
So job loss. In trying not to lose your job, you have to be smart, you have to be good qualification, amongst others. Then please take insurance.
Very, very happy.
Because even at the end of the day, with your good qualification, with you being versatile, with you being not being a butt kisser, if something happens to the organization, everybody's going on. So maybe at the end of the day, taking insurance is actually the best options amongst all the options. So this brings us to the end of this episode. Please, I'd like you to tweet at me. What's your opinion? My Twitter handle is @olasazi. You can visit my website www.olasazi.com. And once again, please take an insurance. Thank you for viewing.